Hello everyone, welcome for this new episode of the ESO News. Today we are the 21 March 2016. It's the Springs and Thieves Guild has been released for PC and Mac. So this release has not been perfect. In this video I will share good news and bad news, everything alike, and I will speak a lot about the community. So let's go. The release of the Thieves Guild DLC was not exactly a success, and this for different reasons. First of all, the Thieves Guild had been released 1 week after two big MMO that were very expected by the MMORPG community, Black Desert and The Division. So, the week before, a lot of players were playing those games, at least to try out, and they were enjoying it. Then the Thieves Guild happened, it's released, it's supposed to be good, a lot of players want to go back to the Elder Scrolls Online to enjoy the new content, and then you have ton of bugs, so it's really bad timing. It's the combination of two big, huge MMORPG release and all the bugs, all the problems that come. A lot of players have stayed in those games instead of coming back to the Elder Scrolls Online in the Thieves Guild. So we will see how things happen in the next months, if the players abandon the new games and come back to the Elder Scrolls Online, or will stick with their new game. Regarding this release, the bugs were mostly due to the 64-bit client. You had graphical bugs and all sort of weird things like character naked, heads that were small, or a lot of pink, a pink festival. Those bugs will not happen on console, so the console player, if you're playing on console, the Thieves Guild will be a great DLC for you. You can check my review if you want, because the bugs are not related to the Thieves Guild content itself. It's the 64 clients that were implemented for PC and Mac that were creating problems. Enough with the bad news, let's speak now about Tales of Tamriel, which is a weekly podcast presented by Agelos, his wife Thais, Avi Optimal, Asteldan and Nate Langson. Tales of Tamriel exists since 2 years or more, and they have celebrated recently 100 episodes, and they have celebrated that with an interview with Rich Lambert. And this interview is extremely interesting because there is a lot of tease, a lot of news about the future of the Elder Scrolls Online, things that we have never heard anywhere else, not on the forum, not on the ESO Live. So I find it very interesting to share it with you. So I suggest you to watch the whole episode, because I will just give you a little summary of it. I will not give you all details, so go check this, the information are below. So first of all, I take my notes. We have some plans to get back and revitalize Old Zone. Expect to hear some exciting stuff soon, said Rich Lambert. This is of course related to the post that Matt Furor published at the start of the year ahead. They have planned to, and I'm quoting, a major change in how World Zone treat players' character levels. So we can expect that the World Zone of the games will battle level. At least I hope it will be that. Possibility to develop further the guild quests, so the Mage Guild, the Fighters Guild, and of course the Thieves Guild, with a follow-up, but there's no promises on that. Rich Lambert also teases us with the next DLC after Dark Brotherhood, so the one in Q3, so around September, more stuff for players to do. That might be very interesting. I wonder what it will be. They would love to improve existing world bosses and delves and to make it more on par with Orsinium and the Thieves Guild. They are working on huge changes regarding enchanting, and we will know soon about this. It's very exciting. They are currently working on the Direwolf Moon, and they are also working on tons of new haircuts and new adornments. They are not sure yet how they will share it to the players, if you will have to purchase it through the console or buy it for gold or unlock it through achievement or whatnot. Also, if you want to know more about the haircut, I suggest you to watch my video because there's several new haircuts that you can find in the Thieves Guild, and I've gathered them all in this video. Another video you really should watch, it's the interview of Mike Finnigan, the dungeon lead designer, by Heroes of None, together with Krasmatsai. So Heroes of None has made and published a lot of very interesting video regarding the Thieves Guild. It's actually streaming them directly, but it's pushed on YouTube. But that one was particularly interesting because Mike Finnigan is sharing a lot of interesting information, some of them related to the subject that we discussed last ESO news related to the tank issue. So let's get started immediately. Be happy and rejoice, the health percentage is coming for both PC and console, so you will not need add-ons anymore, and console players will finally know when the execute period happens. Mike Finnigan explains the reason why the old series of veteran dungeons feels a lot easier today than it was before. It's simply the removal of the soft caps and the addition of the champion points that kind of disbalance the whole design of those dungeons. All the new dungeons that are currently designed or that have been designed after take in account those champion points and are made and created differently. When the dungeon teams create a new dungeon, they always try to take the abilities of the last boss of the dungeon and to give some hints during the dungeon through monster or mini bosses or just mobs, so it gives a good hint, it educates players about what there is to come. They try to find a way to discourage cheesy strategy that players always figure out, but they do not want to completely remove the possibility of players of being creative and find a fancy strategy to defeat a. So it's a bit of a one-by-one case. The old trials will eventually scale up, but the problem is that the old trials were coded differently, so they need to rescript them entirely, so it takes a lot of time and energy to do that. It's not something simple and easy. They are not coding the trials now like they did before. The tank role is not to grab the aggro on everything, but more to choose which target is the most dangerous and take it on him. Mike Finnigan also explains that it is normal and they are okay with the fact that in normal dungeon, for instance, or easy content, you do not need to have especially a tank, a healer and 2 DPS. But once the contents become more and more difficult, the Holy Trinity will be important and you will not be able to skip it. Voila, that's a short summary. If you want to know more, go check the video. The streamer Fengrush has published recently a video that has made a lot of noise on the official forum. For those that do not know who Fengrush is, he is a very good PvPer, a streamer, he has a big community of followers, and he has been participating to the podcast We Are ESO together with Cypher, Lefty Lucy and King. Fengrush has always been very vocal, openly criticizing Zenimax, and so this video has made a lot of noise on the forum, a lot of reaction, very passionate from the community, may it be positive, people that agree with Fengrush, or people that disagree with him and kinda criticize him. And the post had been removed from the general forum to the Alliance forum, which a lot of players have said that Zenimax is not very subtly trying to shush Fengrush. Anyway, as you can understand through this description, Fengrush and I are probably two opposite personality kind of gamer, and I have watched this video and I was expecting to really disagree with it and to be annoyed by it, but I have to say that even if I don't agree with everything that Fengrush says, he has very good point, and this video is well explained. It is a little bit negative, but it is fair. It's never bashing on Zenimax or any employee from Zenimax for free. Is really being kind of constructive in his negativism. So I really recommend you to watch this video, even if you don't agree with it. It's not the point. It is very interesting to see the point of this person as it's exposed in a kind of fair way. It's important to note that Fengrush is defending the point of view of the PvP community, so he's not speaking for everyone. I say it several times during his video. So it does not address for everyone, but for the PvP community, he has a very grim vision of the future of the Elder Scrolls Online. He sees so many players that have left already for games like Black Desert, Division or others, and you have a category of players that are just waiting for Dark Age of Camelot Unchained or Crowfall or other title like that. Which is a little bit depressing, because you see the PvP community becoming thinner and thinner patch after patch. Another point, which I find kind of a good point, is that the strategy of Zenimax is more aimed towards attracting new players than retaining old members. So we see a lot of veteran players that do not know what to do. They do not really have a bright future in the Elder Scrolls Online, and they are leaving, while a lot of new players are coming in. So there's always players playing the Elder Scrolls Online. It's just the game do not have a very big retention. This is something I've noticed myself with my own guild, and we're not at all PvP. There's different stuff that Zenimax have done that prove this point, like for instance a $1 million contest which has been made to attract a lot of new players, or there's famous World of Warcraft streamer that are streaming the Elder Scrolls Online and promoting it. You have a lot of reduction on different shops, etc. That's always attract new players, but it doesn't really help to build a long-term community. Fengrush also saying that the PvP community is constantly ignored by Zenimax, that Zenimax do not try to communicate with them, that they do not invite them in the guild meeting and stuff like that. He never managed to speak directly with Zenimax to speak about his point of view and how he will see the game improved. What I want to precise to this is that Zenimax communicate to some players, at least. I have been approached several times to speak about issue regarding the Elder Scrolls Online, and I was not alone. I was with other members of the community that are kind of well established and such. So Zenimax communicate, but maybe they don't with the PvP community. That I do not know. Fengrush also saying that they cannot fix the PvP issue and that it's not worth it for them anymore. That no matter what they are saying, they are not really working on finding a solution. They have break the performance in the PvP area, and there's not enough PvP here to really waste the resource, time and money for fixing the problem. Fengrush also say that he thinks that the game is more aimed now towards people that enjoy quests, enjoy story, are role-playing and are willing to purchase new costume and pets in the Crown store. So I really think that the game has changed and swifted towards more casual player, more new players. And finally, he's saying that the Elder Scrolls Online is becoming less and less a MMORPG, and which is something that Matt Fior proved in the interview that he gave towards, I don't remember which magazine, which is, and I'm quoting Matt Fior, ESO is an online role-playing game. Now it's very important to know that it's Fengrush opinion, it is not the truth. It may be wrong on some things, so be careful with not accepting everything he said like a new prophet. But if someone like me agree with some of the things that someone like him is saying, that may mean something. And the shout out of the week this week goes to Tales of Tamriel and Heroes of None that I've just discussed about in this episode. Go watch their channel. Tales of Tamriel is doing a weekly show every Sunday live on YouTube, and it's published on their channel afterwards. They are doing really great quality content, and if you have followed them from the very beginning, you have seen the evolution. First it was with Deltia, I've been invited during that time once, and then it evolved with new podcaster, and the interface is a lot nicer now. It's very clean and pretty and everything. It looks very professional, and 102 episodes, it's quite something. Do you imagine the dedication, the devotion, and the commitment to this? It's really great, and I want to congratulate the team once more in this ESO news. And Heroes of None is also a streamer, and I suggest you to watch his stream. He's streaming quite late, so the European are sleeping generally when he's streaming, but he's pushing a lot of his video in small segments when it's very interesting. He has also done several times interview with developers and co-stream with other podcasters like Krasmatsai or Miss Beast, for instance. So go watch his channel and follow him. Voila, it's all for today. Oh no, it's not all. Let's finish this ESO news by a very positive note, which is a tweet that Zenimax tweeted yesterday. 10 years ago, you rescued Martin and crowned him Emperor. Are you ready to return to Kvatch? 10 years in Oblivion. So that's a little tease for the next DLC, as you may have understood, that will be published probably around May-June, and it's Dark Brotherhood. Well, I thank you so much to have watched. Do not hesitate to share with me any podcaster content that you think is worth to be shared, because I try to check on every show, I know, but it's a bit difficult to keep updated with every content produced by week. So do not hesitate to send me a message on Twitter, on Anouk, on YouTube directly, or with something you find very interesting and that's worth to talk about. Wish you a great week, and I will see you next time, probably next week, because I suppose that we will have a ESO live this time, but otherwise I will wait the next ESO live to make English ESO news. Take care everyone, bye.